Hello again, friends. Matt with Eddie's Guitars coming to you as always from St. Louis, Missouri. I've got a pair of wonderful instruments to share with you folks today. I should mention we're getting into the time of year where normally we would expect to start seeing special instruments that we had selected at the NAMM show that normally takes place right around the middle, third week of January. So right around now is around the time we would start seeing some of those guitars show up. Since the NAMM show out in California did not happen this year, things are certainly a bit different than normal. However, that has not deterred some of my favorite builders from really pulling out all the stops and having some incredible and special showcase instruments built. The two guitars we're going to look at today were both instruments that were intended to be shown at the NAMM show that never happened. And we thought it a unique opportunity to have both of these guitars in-house at one time. And you'll see me handling one guitar here. The one I'm handling is a Nightingale Grand Soloist. And I should mention this guitar and the other one we're going to take a look at, it's a Paradiso Grand Concert, are as identical as two different guitars reasonably can be. Of course, the same builder. I tell you, all of the tone woods between this Nightingale and the Paradiso we're going to take a look at are identical. And what I mean by that, or maybe I should say as close to identical as possible. The woods, the top and the back and sides on both of these guitars are what they refer to as being flitch match. So if you have a big chunk of wood that you're cutting a piece off of in order to open it up and book match it for, say, a back set or a soundboard, that book match set that they would have cut and put aside and made into a top, the flitch match is literally the next cut adjacent to the one that they just turned into a top or a back. So all of these woods are adjacent cuts of each other for the particular redwood that we used, as well as the particular Indian rosewood that we used. Again, a unique opportunity having two different body styles with virtually the exact same wood, or again, as close to it as I think you can get. All the other details on the guitars in terms of inlays, aesthetic details are all the same. So we're literally looking at a difference of body shape and size between this comparison here. Again, we're going to start with this Nightingale here. You can see the top that we started with is an absolutely incredible and dramatic looking sinker redwood top. Absolutely gorgeous stuff here. Beautiful color. I love those dramatic darker streaks that you tend to see in that sinker redwood. Just beautiful stuff. The entire top of the guitar is lined in a very colorful blue Paua abalone shell. You can see the rosette on the guitar is a nice wideband Indian rosewood rosette, and each the inner and outer perimeter there is also lined in that gorgeous colorful blue Paua shell. Very, very nicely done. Fingerboard on this guitar is very, very plain. In fact, there's no inlays on it at all. Just a gorgeous slab of clean ebony there. Very, very nice. You can see all the way up on the headstock is a gorgeous dark ebony veneer. You can see that kind of violin purfling on the outside of the headstock, and of course that colorful blue Paua shell R all the way up top. Those are gold Waverly tuning machines with black buttons. I think those black buttons certainly tie in nicely with the ebony parts on this guitar. Beautifully done. Back and sides of this guitar are an equally gorgeous set of figured East Indian rosewood. And like I said, this Nightingale and the Paradiso like it are adjacent cuts of the exact same wood. Beautiful stuff here, some really interesting figure, and just a unique grain pattern. You can also see a very colorful blue Paua shell backstrip going all the way down the center of the back. I really like that look. You don't tend to see an awful lot of Ryan guitars with a backstrip at all. Usually it's just both ends of that wood butted right up next to each other. Having that nice colorful backstrip on this guitar is sure a nice touch, and really ties in nicely with the rest of the Paua details on the guitar. Both guitars are going to share the same 25.7-inch extended fingerstyle scale length. I got to tell you, that's a feel I have really come to like a lot, both from just the physicality of it, as well as the extra sustain and kind of dynamics and nuance that you can kind of pull out of having a little bit longer string length there. It's also particularly handy when doing lower tunings and, going into lower registers, still, maintaining nice tension across the strings without the strings getting too flabby at all. Really a nice touch to have that slightly longer scale length. I think it adequately fills space too, having a little longer string length there. The binding package on this guitar, including the forearm bevel here, is a full ebony binding package. So very dark, very dramatic looking, but kind of understated, honestly. You can see, of course, the beautiful acoustic flutes carved right into that forearm bevel, certainly acting like a personal monitor, kind of a sound port for the player, and it certainly works well in that regard. It's a very satisfying guitar to play, even just sitting down all by yourself, I've got to say. It really, really plays nicely. Of course, this also has all of the other, mostly under the hood, innovations that Kevin Ryan is very well known for. The EO bracing with all the relief cuts laser cut into it, the honeycomb bridge plate, which is light as a feather, still very stiff and responsive and sturdy though as well. So all sorts of tricks going on under the hood of this guitar, and you can hear it in the sound. Both the Nightingale and the Paradiso we're going to take a listen to are very complex sounding guitars, very rich and full sounding guitars. And again, I think especially playing them in a solo scenario, they really stand out and hold their own tonally. Again, we're just spacious sounding guitars. And I've got to say, redwood, especially sinker redwood, tends to be closely associated with fingerstyle applications. Rightly so. I've got no argument with that whatsoever. I've been equally impressed with the headroom that these guitars have. They are not shy when it comes to being able to express yourself with a flat pick. In fact, they hold up very, very well for a plethora of different styles. So very versatile machines all the way through. I've been very impressed with both. I think you'll be intrigued to hear the differences between the Paradiso and the Nightingale here. We're going to start with the Paradiso, move on to the Nightingale. We're just going to flip back and forth between a couple of different tunes here so you can really get a sense for the frequency range that each guitar kind of falls within, and I think you'll be impressed. Let's take a listen.